Well, Sydney, thank you for coming. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. So let's start with how'd you end up where you are here in Utah? Are you from here? What sort of things ended up to have you be where you are?
Yeah, so I grew up mostly in Utah. My parents are on the younger side, so when I was growing up, my dad was going to school and my mom was staying home with us while he went to school. So during his master's degree, we moved to Washington State for a while, but for the most part, I've lived here in Utah.
So did you go elementary school in Washington? Or?
Yeah, so I was born in Arizona. We moved to Utah, and then when my dad was doing his master's program, I was about 9 years old.
Okay, wow.
And so we moved to Washington State for that, and I went to third grade and fourth grade there, and then we moved back.
Do you have any solid friends you still stay in touch with? I guess you're pretty young, so probably not.
Yeah, there is one family that it wasn't necessarily kids that I met in school, but it was just these people in our ward there. They became really good friends with my parents. So we are still super tight with them. They have a lake house in Washington, so we go visit them every once in a while.
No wonder you're such good friends. Okay. Got the lake house going.
Got the lake house going on. Yeah, we like to go boating together, so.
That's dope. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about your favorite things to do in Utah.
My favorite things to do in Utah would probably be kayaking. Me and Austin go kayak. My husband Austin go kayaking all the time. We like to go camping in different locations. I feel like camping's a huge thing here, especially with Bryce, and you have Fish Lake, and you have just all these different places. So
I haven't heard of Bryce or Fish Lake, but
oh my gosh,
I believe you.
It's so fun. We like to. Bryce is our favorite though. Bryce Canyon.
Wait, Bryce Canyon. Okay, actually, I have heard of that.
Sorry,
a state park or something. Or is it a national park?
Yes, I think it's just state park.
Okay.
National state. Yeah, I think it's state.
You're big into the outdoor stuff.
Yeah, I don't ski. I learned how to ski once, but it's expensive to ski and snowboard.
I've gone a couple times. I think like my first 2 times I went snowboarding, I broke my wrist both times.
You're like, I think this is out. I think this option's not for me.
Yeah, and then Bailey dragged me out once, and I was just like, hey, it's just not worth it. I don't know, not to me. She goes all the time. Bailey loves skiing. I just can't.
It is fun. I was really bad at it, but it was fun. But we like the kind of summer activities. So boating and camping and hiking 100%. And all that kind of stuff.
Tell me your favorite thing about Utah and your least favorite thing about Utah.
My favorite thing about Utah would I don't know. I think my favorite thing about Utah is the seasons. So you get to experience the seasons. And it's mostly safe here. You feel safe here. So I like that. And then my least favorite thing about Utah is just sometimes the church culture here, but that's it.
100%. So go into that more. Explain what you mean by that.
The church culture, it's cliquey. It's a clique to me, and I don't like the culture surrounding that. 100%. I don't know if you feel the same.
No, yeah, that's very common. And you're a member of the church though, right?
I am a member of the church. I just want people to be who they are, and I don't want people to pretend to be something else. And I want to be friends with people who are authentic, but you can't really expect that from everyone, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a Utah thing, but I think it might be because I just
think it's I see
that on social media so much too.
There's just trends that people participate in and things that people do that's kind of a Utah thing.
Yeah. So all this considered, do you like living in Utah?
I do like it. I would like to experience something else, but all of our family is here, so we're living here for now and just enjoying it while we're here.
Okay. What about your favorite place to eat in Utah?
Oh, Tsunami for sure.
Tsunami, never heard of that.
It's a sushi restaurant. You go there for the sushi. You don't go there for you can go there for the regular, just ribs or whatever, but we like the sushi. Okay. It's really good.
I ate sushi once in high school. Threw up. So.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta try it again. It's been so long.
Yeah, you gotta give it a chance one more time because Tsunami Sushi is just something else.
Is it a chain or a local one-of-a-kind place?
I actually don't know. Okay. There's a few of them here in Utah though. There's one over in South Jordan, I think, and then Traverse Mountain.
Oh.
So.
Very cool. Okay. Tell me about some of your biggest pet peeves.
Well, I already kind of told you about one of them, people not being who they actually are.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone, okay, I don't mean to be judgy, okay? When someone has a stuffy nose and they're sitting in class and they're like sucking up their nose, you know? It's like,
true.
just go blow your nose if you need to go blow your nose. But like, I don't want to hear you sniffling in my ear.
Yeah,
like,
that sound
the
is...
sucking up of the like mucus. Oh, that just like irritates me so bad.
I'm just trying to think. People making little sounds like that.
Or, yeah, I'm trying to think. There's also, I do this myself, so I'm sure that my husband feels this way, but when people are, like, breathing really loud, like, have you ever experienced that? When someone is, like, sitting there and they're just like,
Yeah.
or, like, they just have a hard time breathing, and it's just, like, heavy breathing.
That's so true, though.
My
That's
gosh.
actually way funny. And it's a sign. It's like, dude, if you're having a hard time breathing right now, you gotta... No offense to asthma. If you have asthma,
Yeah,
that's different.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To those who have asthma, I apologize. My cousin has asthma, okay?
Yeah. But if you're just not taking care of yourself...
You're just, like, eating food, and you're like... like, when they're trying to eat, and they can't... Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it's weird, though. Sometimes I'll, like, sprint up my stairs. So
Yeah.
I'm exerting myself for, like, 2 full seconds. But for some reason, my heart will start to, like... think I'm working out. It's almost like your Apple Watch. Like you go for a walk, it's like, oh, are you working out?
Yeah, are you working out?
My body does that, and I'm like, dude, why am I out of breath all of a sudden?
Okay, can we just talk about how our devices tell us that we're like out of shape?
Yeah.
How it's like, hey, you've been sitting for too long. Can you please stand up? It's like, what?
Like, gosh, okay.
Stop telling me I'm fat. Doesn't
I love
help.
that. That's true, man. Apple Watches are like that.
The technology that we have.
How about some fun facts, weird facts, unique facts?
Okay, fun facts. A lot of my family is from Kanab, Utah.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of
Kanab Cowboys.
Kanab Cowboys, man.
Huge.
Have you seen? Oh, I think it's called Windrunner.
Wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
It's a really
it's a running
old
show
movie.
that. Oh, how old is it?
It was made in like, I think like the 80s or the 90s.
No, I've not seen that.
I think it's the 90s. I'll have to look it up.
I don't think I've seen a movie that's come out before the year like 2000.
Okay, that movie was made during the time my dad was in high school. My dad is in that movie.
Oh.
Kanab Cowboys. Okay.
So what's the movie about? Did they film it in Kanab?
Yeah, they filmed it in my mom's house that she grew up in Kanab.
What the heck? Is it like a pretty famous movie and stuff?
Not really.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang.
I mean, I'm sure that people have seen it, but just like don't realize. But it was filmed in Kanab. Have a ton of family in Kanab. Super random.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. You're looking for weird facts.
Well, I've got a good friend, Lane Anderson, who's from Kanab
Oh
and stuff.
my gosh, yes, Elaine actually dated my cousin who lived there.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, it's a small town, so I'm sure. There's another kid. I think I did sales with him or something. I think he's from Kanab, but he worked at some diner. Apparently, Justin Bieber on a road trip drove through Kanab and stopped at this restaurant, and he was like a chef in the back. He's like, hey, like, here's the order for a steak. It's for Justin Bieber. Make it good. He's like, what? Justin Bieber? So he met Justin Bieber at some like little diner in like Kanab or something like that.
Heck?
Hey, what's his name? Jace Seeley, I think is his name. If you know it,
I don't
Jace
know
Seeley.
him.
And that might not even be Kanab. I don't even know. But I'm pretty sure it was Kanab. It was some little town down there. But that's sick. Okay.
My parents met in Kanab. Super random place, but I love it. It's surrounded by all the pretty mountains.
But all your family is kind of up in like central Utah, like Utah County, Salt Lake.
Yeah,
County.
we all kind of live in Utah County now, but my dad's side of the family still lives in Kanab, so we go visit there all the time. What's another fun fact? Married a missionary from our mission.
Huge.
That's fun. I like to longboard. I don't know if you know that, but I like to longboard
Have you ever had any bad accidents?
Not anything like life-threatening, but definitely just...
You broken stuff? You just scrape yourself up?
Luckily, I didn't break anything, but scratches and stuff. But
Have you ever been longboarding in like Provo Canyon?
Provo Canyon? Yes.
So you know,
Yes.
or that little
That can
waterfall
get kind of
is?
freaky. Yeah.
So I remember like my first couple of years of college, we would go at like midnight, drive up to like Vivian Park, and go down that trail that goes down the canyon, down like the gas station stuff. and like it's just like the moonlight to see, and sometimes sometimes there was no moonlight. So
See, I
have your
haven't done
flashlight.
it at night.
It was sick, dude. It was so fun actually. I used to love longboarding.
That is
I haven't done it in years, but that's dope.
Yeah, it's fun. It was actually like my favorite. It was like my favorite Christmas that we've ever had. My parents just like saved up hardcore and got all me and my siblings longboards.
Wow.
And so we all like went downstairs. My parents were like, you can't look. And so we all had this like designated place once we were allowed to go down to the basement. Then they had like all of our designated spots, and we all had our own longboard and just like all these things. So I've ridden that longboard since I was like 10.
Dang,
So,
you got it like tuned up and like done stuff.
Yeah,
to it? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I've had to get it kind of like redo the wheels sometimes
Sure.
or whatever, but the same board is still
That's
there.
crazy,
I ride it all
actually.
the time. Yeah. If you get a good one, it lasts you a long time.
Wow, that's wild. So you've been longboarding for a long time.
I like it. Yeah. It's
How
fun.
often do you still go longboard a lot, or not really? Or what?
Because of adult things and having to work,
Yeah.
boring adult life. I don't get to go longboarding as much as I would like, but I do sometimes.
Was that Christmas you got it? Was that in Utah? Or was that in
Yeah.
Washington? Okay.
Yeah,
Dope.
Utah. Fun fact, we served together in our mission.
Yo.
That was fun. You were my district leader. That's how we got introduced.
Huge. I don't even remember that. I'm trying to think. How did we meet? That's a great question.
Yeah,
Were you already in Barbados and I came to Barbados, or
it was my
was I already
first
there?
time in Barbados. I think we had all gotten moved there. Cool. I think because that was at
Who was your first companion in Black Rock?
Johnson.
Yeah.
Sister Johnson.
Pretty sure I met you two together. Yeah.
Had you been in Barbados already at that time, or was that
I
your
was
first?
with Elder Adams. Do you remember him?
Yes.
So yeah, he's my first companion. I went to Barbados and so we both moved there at the same time. Dope. Do you still talk to Sister Johnson at all? I know she's like married in Canada.
Yeah, sometimes I'll like message her and like say hi. But
I never see her on Facebook or anything, so I forgot about her.
Yeah.
So I mean, most people's parents, I feel like, are kind of against the longboarding. It's like dangerous and blah blah blah. Are your parents just like way fun and chill, or what?
Growing up, my parents were, because they were on the younger side.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if this is probably another fun fact, but my parents got married. My dad, like right after my dad got off his mission, they got married, but my mom was young.
I forgot. How old was your mom when she got married? Is this not good to have on the show?
No, I think it's okay. So she was about 16, 17 when they got married. Okay.
Was she 16 or 17?
She was 16.
You're dancing around this. I gotta know.
Okay,
How old was
my mom was 16. She
wild.
graduated high school early, so it's just a unique story.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Definitely leave it to them to tell their story if you want to interview them. I'm sure that they would be totally down.
I'll cut it out then.
No, I think that we're good to talk about it. Yeah. So my mom was 16. My dad was off his mission. She had graduated early, so she was working when my dad got home from his mission and started working. So that's how they met in the small town that they lived.
In Kanab.
So yeah, in Kanab. So they so they were on the younger side growing up. And so I wouldn't say that they were very like strict or anything. They were actually very, I mean, we had boundaries.
Sure.
We had things that we were supposed to follow, but they were really cool to be around, and my friends liked being around them. So
if your mom got married when she was 16, are you the oldest?
yeah,
How old was she when you were born?
she was 18.
So yeah, your mom's like 18 years older than you.
Crazy.
That's way actually crazy.
It's fun. It's really fun. People will see us together and they'll be like, "Are you guys sisters?" And she'll be like, "Yes, we are."
That's actually crazy. So when your mom was your age, how many kids did she have by then? Because I feel like most people's parents
Oh my
were
gosh.
pumping out kids way earlier than
So I'm 26 right now. I think she was almost done or was done.
4 kids.
I think so.
Wow.
Or 5. There's 5 of us.
Times change.
I know. Because she was a stay-at-home mom. I think she was almost done or was done.
Your dad went to Washington and got a master's. What was his degree in? What did he do?
He did. So he studied graphic design.
very
He's
cool.
a graphic designer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. What is your perspective on what success means, and what does happiness mean to you?
That's actually... I forgot that you asked this question, but right now I'm in a class right now where we're learning about that. Like, what is success to you and what is happiness to you and all that kind of stuff.
Is it like a psychology class or like
it's a leadership class.
Oh, cool.
But it's about learning about kind of like positive psychology and using that in leadership.
Very cool.
So they've talked about how when you're always trying to chase happiness, then you're always left wanting, which I thought is really interesting. It's that it's important to live a life that is meaningful to you. What brings you meaning in your life? Mm-hmm. And I think that I've finally started to kind of realize that I've been trying to chase happiness, and I thought that that was success.
Interesting.
Like I thought being happy was success, but in reality, am I actually doing things that bring me meaning in my life, or am I just doing things that just temporarily make me happy and then I move on? Or am I actually living a meaningful life?
Yeah.
So that's actually something I've just been learning about in school that just kind of made a light bulb go off, and I'm starting to kind of question, like, am I doing things that are meaningful to me, or are they just making me happy?
Interesting.
So
what does a meaningful life look like to Sidney Douglas? Sidney Klunker. Sorry.
Yeah, Sidney Klunker. A meaningful life for me is, I think, a huge part spending time with family. Like, do you have good relationships around you that make you feel like you're a part of something or a part of a community?
The quality of your relationships.
Yes,
sure.
the quality of relationships that you have, I think, can make you have a meaningful life. I think, are you doing things like hobbies? Do you have hobbies that make you feel like your life is meaningful? Do you have a job that is making you happy, or are you doing a job just to make money? And right now, to be completely honest, my job is just kind of to make money, but I think I'm trying to figure out, okay, what brings me meaning? Is my job actually fulfilling?
Sure.
So I don't know if you feel that way. Have you felt that way?
Yeah, I mean, you spend a lot of time working, so you want it to be meaningful,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's also like, well, like, I don't know, is it okay for me to sacrifice doing something I don't like so I can provide for my family and give them what they deserve and stuff? Right. So it's a balance. But no, I definitely have felt that, and I really enjoy the work I do. It's kind of what I feel.
Yeah.
I've always just wanted to be on like the cutting edge of like science and technology, and so right now this cool internship I recently started and stuff, hopefully it turns into something full time. But no, I like it. It's very, very cool. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something bigger. You know what I mean? Bigger than me. And
it's made me think about, I mean, when you say that, it's like, you know, I don't envy, I guess, in like the culture that I grew up in, it was very much like the man works, the woman stays home. That's not for everyone, but I definitely think it's hard to be the breadwinner because it's like, are you doing something that makes you happy too, or fulfilled, or bringing you meaning? And so I don't envy trying to figure that out. Yeah. I'm in the middle of that. I'm like, okay, do I want to be a stay-at-home mom, or do I want to work? Do I want to, focus on having kids and developing the home, or do I want to go out and work and do kids? So
you're still kind of figuring out what you want. I'm still
kind of figuring out what I want, because I feel like it's changed so much, like over the years. Like I used to picture being a hairstylist and doing my own salon, but now that's not really like what I mean, I have my own salon in my house.
She does give great haircuts, guys.
I am a barber. But the barbering side is definitely my bigger interest. But now it's become more of something that just makes me happy. I get to serve people.
Sure.
I get to make people happy, hear about their life, or make them feel more confident.
Yeah.
So I like that about it.
Part-time therapist for sure.
Yeah. It's amazing the kinds of things people bring up in their hair appointments. It really feels like I'm a therapist sometimes, but it's all good.
So tell me about, like, I know you're a big reader and a big fan of books. And
yes.
Like, you have that Instagram page you started and stuff, and you have a way cool like bookshelf over there. Like, have you always been a massive reader? Why are you so into books? Tell us about some of your favorite books.
Yes. So when I was young, I liked to read in elementary school. I liked to read like Lightning Thief and the Fablehaven books and all of the kind of fantasy books, fantasy / like adventure. And then I kind of took a pause from reading. I think I forgot that I liked reading.
Yeah.
And so I took a pause for a while. And then I heard about, like, on Instagram, like, book talk. So, like, people talk about books on Instagram. And So I started kind of getting into series that it's like romantasy or fantasy. I know your wife really likes it too, but we talk about it all the time. Like I like reading like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, Fourth Wing.
New books coming out.
Onyx Storm just came out.
Huge.
And I can't decide if I want to read it now or if I want to wait, because I think it's like a year or 2 years that she's coming out with the next one.
Interesting.
So authors do that where they like come out with a series, but it's not fully finished, so you have to wait years for it to be finished.
So wait, you were big into it as a kid. When did you get back into it again?
So I read a little bit here and there when I first, after I got back from my mission, I would read here and there. And then I just wasn't really interested in anything I was reading at the time. And then I got introduced to the romantasy fantasy books again. And so reading ACOTAR got me back into it, which was like 2 years ago. So now I read all the time. That's sick. It's a hobby.
What are some of your favorite books?
Book collecting.
ACOTAR then? Or
ACOTAR. I don't know if you've heard of like Throne of Glass. Have you heard of like From Blood and Ash?
No, I'm not a big reader. I don't.
Well, and this form of reading is like a whole other level. It's like girls reading about, fantasy worlds with fae and wars and huge character development.
All the things.
All the things. So that's one of my favorite genres that I like to read.
I got to get back into reading. I feel like when I was a kid, I loved reading. I read the Harry Potter series. I remember reading like the Hunger Games series and being like, this is mind blowing.
Yes.
But then like, I don't know, in high school, like all like the assigned reading and stuff, like real like good literature, I was just like, just so boring. I just wasn't a fan. And so then, Spark Notes, I'm like, oh, sweet, I don't have to read any books. I can just write these dumb essays and Spark Note it.
I feel like a big thing that got me into reading in school was my teachers.
Good.
Because my teachers, I guess teachers have a way to kind of make you enjoy it versus hate it. And I feel like the projects that they had me doing in school made me like it. Like, I remember my English classes where we like read like Great Gatsby, for example. We would have like big discussions. Like, it wasn't anything like lecture based. It was very discussion based, and everyone would talk about, what do you think this means, or what do you think this symbolizes, and so that really got me into books too, when we would discuss stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if the blame is on me or the curriculum or my teachers, but I don't know.
You just weren't into it.
Really turned me off reading when I was in high school. So I
don't blame you.
And then audiobooks, great. Podcasts, great.
Yes.
So
here we are.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I just really have not like really read anything in a long time.
Yeah, I'll do, whenever I'm in the car, I'm always listening to an audiobook. And then when I'm about to go to bed, I'll read for a bit, like from an actual book.
It's good stuff.
It's good for me. It's good for my mind, just to kind of, for me, it's a way to escape and just be able to like be in just in a made up world and just be able to not think about being an adult sometimes.
Yeah. So besides from, your massive hobby of reading, do you have any other big hobbies?
Big hobbies. I'm really crafty, so I really like to like make things, and so I do a lot of like scrapbooking. I know that's like an old art.
That's a way old art.
Been lost.
I say way old. I'm just in my 20s, but like my parents had.
I'm an old lady. I'm a young woman with like old lady hobbies.
Right.
So I like to crochet. I like to scrapbook. I like to read. So totally, I'm an old lady in a woman's body.
Reading, scrapbooking, and crocheting. That just sounds like a grandma. Yeah.
I totally am, but it makes me happy, so I go for it.
A meaningful life.
Yes.
Happiness. Yes. There we go. What is some advice you've received before that's changed your life?
Oh, okay. I just heard a quote recently. It was like, basically that talks about whatever you choose not to do, like that is like what you're choosing. So if, you're choosing not to work, that is a choice that you make, and that's something that you decided to do. So owning up to your decisions. Another thing that I was told is just to take one thing at a time. And I feel like to take one thing at a time for me is huge, because I'm one with a mind that likes to just go in a million different directions all at once. I think it's ADHD or something.
Yeah.
But like, I have so many hobbies, right? And so I have a whole bunch of interests, and so I tend to burn myself out a lot. So to take one thing at a time just reminds me just to just be able to finish one thing at a time and focus on one thing at a time, and it helps calm my mind.
That's great. That's huge for me too. I don't know if I've ever like heard that somewhere or just like thought of it myself, but I'm like, I found that, yeah. I wonder if all of us, like, I don't know, a diagnosis of ADHD 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that is like the baseline level now for all of us today with like social media and just the close face electronics.
100%.
Vine, TikTok, we're all just so whatever.
I'm actually so tempted to go out and buy a flip phone again, because it just, like, me and my husband talk about getting new phones soon, and that's honestly an interest of mine, is to go back to having a flip phone so that I don't have social media and stuff.
That's great. There's actually an influencer I know that did that. She'll still post content sometimes from like her iPad, but like her day-to-day life, she's like, yeah, I have a flip phone, like it's nice. Like I don't pull up my phone to like go to Instagram out of habit. I just text and call people, and then every once in a while I'll whip out my iPad and make some content because she has a following. But no, it's tempting. It's actually crazy how many times I pull up my phone and click on Instagram, like, what am I doing? Put my phone away, go back to what I'm doing. It's like, it's crazy.
And just the fact that our minds revert to going to like technology now, like it's a need. I remember back when we didn't need that.
Yeah.
We didn't need phones all the time, and it was fine, and you just had a house phone. People would call your house phone.
I love like filling out forms online. It's like, okay, what's your home phone and what's your cell phone?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, who has a home phone?
Nobody has a home phone
Who in 2025 has a home phone?
But I remember, do you remember as a kid being able to like, your parents would get a call and you'd like answer too? And you'd like listen in on their call.
Yeah, we had that. We had like an answering machine. We had all the good stuff. Their pet peeve of breathing too loud on the phone.
100%.
That's so funny.
But my parents would be like, get off the phone.
Dude, in the good old days of prank calling, you whip out the freaking like phone book. I remember as a kid, like in elementary school or junior high.
I think we were the last generation for that. I'm pretty sure.
Yellow page phone book. And you look up random names and numbers and call people. And is this Steve? Yeah, this is Steve. Yeah, I know.
What were like pranks that you would do as a kid? Like, did you ever like prank people?
I
remember like knocking or ringing the doorbell and running away and thinking it was so funny. But now when people do it to me, I'm just like,
doorbell ditching was the best, man. That was so fun. I mean, like egging, if you're like TPing.
TPing
is
so bad.
Do not advise. That is
TPing
bad.
trees right before it rains.
Oh, it's the worst.
You see those families who like are trying to get it out of their plants.
Oh, so sad, dude. What are we doing?
No.
Teenagers are so cruel, man.
I know, they
so
really
stupid.
are.
I don't know what I was doing, but
I had this group of friends in high school. It was just a few of us. Like, we weren't like popular or anything. It was just like we were a group of like it was fun kids from the ward, and we would go around and like, I don't know, we would like prank each other. And it was, so they would like, there was this one time where I went out to I drove this like Mazda hatchback in high school. And my friends came over and they had like put like peanut butter like on the inside of my door handles.
No way.
So like I went to go open, just like the handle of the door.
Okay.
So I'd like go and like open it and have peanut butter on my hands, and I'm just like, not again. And they'd be like hiding somewhere like laughing. And it was just,
That's the good old days, man.
Yeah, that was like the golden age when I was living in Highland, Utah, just going to high school at Lone Peak High School and hanging out with my friends, and it was a good time. It was just silly.
What was it like living in Highland, going to Lone Peak? I feel like most people, like, I always thought that Lone Peak was like the nice, like, rich kid zone, and that's like the rich kid high school. Was it like,
I mean, it kind of is.
Was it like out of the movies and all that crazy good stuff?
Honestly, it's so, I don't want anyone to come for me, but it was definitely a vibe. Like, Lone Peak had, the groups, everyone. That's another thing about Utah that's just interesting. But I don't know if high school students feel this way still, but at least at that time when I was going to high school, there were these groups. There were cliques. And so I was never really a part of one clique. I was friends with different people from different cliques.
Sure. Because
I didn't like being part of just one clique all the time. And so actually it made like weekends sometimes kind of lonely, but during high school, it was very cliquey in high school. I don't know if that answers your question, but
sure.
There were the cheerleaders, the football players, the it was very
Yeah.
much like clicky.
Well, it's a big high school. It's
Yeah.
a successful high school. Like a lot of like big athletes come out of
Yes.
there. A lot of I don't know, big
Yes.
names. But I went to like a small high school and stuff, and I don't know. I just see movies about like high school, like 21 Jump Street or like 17 again. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
bro, like is high school actually like this? Like that is not my experience, but interesting.
I can't really think of any like movies to compare it to, but it was definitely, I mean, it was a good high school to go to, but it was a lot of pressure to like do
Interesting.
well for sure.
Okay.
But I would say it was a good experience. I had a good time, but
Very cool. So if you could go back in time, I mean, no, and I know we're young, and give yourself advice, what would you say?
I would say to not take everything so seriously all the time. My younger self, I think, just felt like I had to take everything so seriously or prove myself all the time. And I would just say, don't take everything so seriously. Like, enjoy the time that you have in high school or wherever. Just like enjoy it, you know, and not take everything. It's good to take some things seriously, obviously, when you need to, but just have a good time and enjoy your time. I think I was always feeling so pressured to do well all the time.
That might be one of my current like life mottos or part of my mantra. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely like take not very many things that seriously. I don't know. I'm just like most things. I'm like, who cares? Not a big deal. I don't know. And it's been nice. But
I wish I had known that sooner, because in high school I felt like, oh, I have to know what I want to do. So I did hair school in high school. I didn't date anyone seriously. Like, I dated around kind of, but I didn't really give anyone the time of day because I was so like, no, I'm not supposed to date. And you know, the rules at 16 or whatever, you're not supposed to date. So
meanwhile, your mom's married at 16.
I told you it was a very different time.
That's
but
so funny.
yeah, it was definitely like, yeah, you're not supposed to date seriously at 16. So I just took everything so seriously, and I wish I just would have had a better time. So that's the advice I would give myself.
Right on. What's one thing you wish people knew about you? Whether it's strangers, one thing they want to know about Sid, or even people you know, you don't always get to express the deepest feelings of your heart to them. What's one thing?
I think something that people eventually learn about me, but if I was talking to a stranger, something I would want them to know about me is that I'm very kind. I'm a very kind person, so I'm willing to help anyone with anything. I think that can cause some burnout, obviously, on my end, but I would say I'm a very kind person. I like to help people. I like to serve people, and that's actually something that does bring me meaning, is getting to be of help to somebody. So that's why I'm a hairstylist. That's why I have my other job. I'm in customer support, which a lot of people have crap to say about customer support, but I like to help people, and that's just a passion of mine.
There you go.
So.
Tell me, how has faith or belief in a higher power impacted your life?
To be honest, I feel like I've gone through ebbs and flows of, you know, my religious beliefs. I have times where I'm really strong, and then I have times where I really struggle. But overall, the one thing that stayed constant is being able to have a belief in a higher power. I just feel like it brings my life, again, it goes along with meaning, but it makes me feel like there's a point. You know, there's a point to life. It's not just, I just exist. I have a hard time believing that I just exist. You know, I truly believe that there's a reason that I'm even alive, and that I breathe, and that we live in such a beautiful place that we do. It influences a lot about my life, just why I do what I do.
Cool. So you say that it gives you a purpose and stuff. What would you say to someone who might be struggling to find their purpose, or maybe their own meaning? Someone that wants to live a meaningful life, like we talked about.
Right.
What would you say to someone who's looking to find their meaning and find their purpose?
I think one of the biggest things is to recognize their strengths, or to have a way to figure out what their strengths are, because everyone has strengths of some sort. So being able to say, you know, if they don't really know how to find their purpose, I think to start, you know, you've been created by a creator who loves you, and so you should be able to recognize, like, what is there to love about you? What do you have to offer the world?
Okay, got it. So you thinking that like you your strengths are kind of given to you by a higher power, and then that is what can turn into your purpose in life and,
For sure.
and find meaning. Okay.
And I think that strengths can be developed. So if there's something that you want to develop, or there's something that you want to be better at, let's say I'm not the best at, let's say someone else is not very good at being kind. I would say like that's a characteristic that you can develop, or if you choose to.
Sure.
Or practice.
Love that. Okay.
But everyone has something to offer.
So what would you do, Sid, if money was not an object? You didn't have to adult, as they say. How would you spend your time? What would your life look like?
I think my husband would die at this, but he at the thought of doing this, but I would love to travel. I would love to be able to just like travel and not work and just be able to do whatever I want and not stress about having to provide for that thing that I want to do.
There you go. I'd have a similar. I'd probably do a similar thing with just travel, dude. I just want to travel. Like, so
yeah,
much.
I just want to get to know the world because I don't do enough traveling. My husband doesn't love traveling, so
You've done a good amount of traveling though. Haven't you been to like Europe and Hawaii and all that? Or
I've been to like Hawaii. He's been to Europe once.
oh, you didn't go to Europe.
I didn't
just
go.
him. Okay.
Yeah, he's been. But we've talked about it though. Before we have kids, that's something we do want to do is go and just see a few places that we probably wouldn't ever get to see again. So
That's sick. That's
Yeah.
way cool.
getting to know different people.
So, what do you hope to accomplish in your life? What's a successful end of life reflection going to look like for you?
That's really good. I would really like to have kids, obviously, and have a family. Be able to say that I like. It's so funny. I just want to live in a cute little house, okay?
Okay.
With a cute yard. Like, it does not have to be big.
Like-
I'm thinking like a cute brick house that's
Okay.
like not even big.
You thinking like homestead though, where you have like your own land, or like you still have neighbors and stuff? Like-
I'm fine with neighbors. I would love to go live somewhere like Santa Quinn or way past Salt Lake, outside of Utah County,
okay. Okay.
in a cute brick house that's in a cute neighborhood, have neighbors, but be able to just have kids in this cute house, be able to do hair whenever I want to, and be with my family.
Nice.
That's really all I want. I know that sounds so simple,
That's nice.
but that's really all I want.
That's nice.
I don't
yeah.
want to be bothered. I just want to go camping. I want to do fun things with my kids. I want to teach them stuff. Yeah.
There you
I
go.
know that sounds so, but I want to learn how to make food. I want to make sourdough.
Do you mean like you want to be like off the grid, like you homeschool your kids, like you're left
Probably.
alone? Left alone? Okay, nice.
I mean, I do want to have friends, obviously. I'm not
Sure.
saying I don't.
You don't want
but
to like abandon society entirely,
No.
but you do want to kind of.
I want to be like self-sufficient.
Okay, there you go.
Does that make sense?
Make sourdough. That's huge. I think Bailey knows how to do that.
Oh my gosh, she should teach me.
whole
I want to
gluten-
learn.
Maybe I'm.
I'm gonna go live out in my brick house in Santa Quinn or way past Salt Lake, and do my crocheting and might read my books and garden. I'm gonna be a total old lady. It's
I
fine.
love that. Man, I don't know where I'd want to be if I'd want to like if I had to, which I'm pretty sure I do have to live in Utah forever. I don't know if I'd want to be like. I feel like Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs is like a cool area.
It is.
Because it's like a little bit out there, but like still
Yes.
close enough to everything.
Uh-huh.
But also like I feel like yeah, once you get south of like Payson or like Santa
Yes.
Quinn down to like Nephi, like, once
Yeah.
you start going down there, it's like way different. Like that would be kind of cool to be on like the outskirts.
I'd
like,
love to be
still-
in like Payson or Santa Quinn. Because
Okay.
Payson's kind of getting like, kind of developing actually.
Is it really? Because
yeah.
in high school, I'm for Spanish
And, like,
Fork
Spanish
and
Fork,
stuff.
yeah.
So I knew a lot of people at Payson and stuff, and I don't know. It always seemed like the pits to me. But if it's
starting
picked up,
to,
then that's
yeah,
good.
like they're building townhomes out there, and I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Payson's growing. That's big. That's good.
I just want to do fun things with my family. That's all.
Okay. There you go.
I'm really simple. I don't have to have like a huge house or anything. I just want to live a simple life.
Is there any kind of like impact you're really hoping to leave on others before you die?
Okay. I want people to, I want to be able to like, it goes along with like kindness, but like I want people to think, when they think of me, I want people to say, I can call Sid whenever and she's willing to help out. I want to like have Sid as a friend to like listen to me and to be there for me. Or like just to be there to like support people, honestly. So when people think of me, oh, Sid's so nice and like willing to do whatever and like help out.
That's
I don't know.
great. That's a great thing.
Someone to trust, I guess.
You talked a lot about kindness. What's the kindest thing someone's done for you?
I don't know. There's been a lot. I feel like people have done a lot for me. I think the biggest thing was, I know this sounds so simple, recently. There have been so many that I
Sure.
can't really pick one. But I feel like one of the biggest things was recently my mom noticed that I was like super into developing like my bookshelf. And so she like saw that little thing I was interested in, and she got me like a cute little embosser that like embosses my books
I've never heard of that
with
word.
my name in it. So like you put it in the book, it's like a clamp that goes down on the page, and it labels it yours. It labels your book yours.
So it, like indents like your name into it?
Yeah.
Oh. Emboss.
Emboss.
It's a $10 word. I never heard of that. Maybe it's not a $10 word. I'm just illiterate because you read a lot more than I do, but I did not know the word.
Well, it's also a word that's used in the crafting world too.
Yeah, which
Like scrapbooking or
I'm also
crafting.
not familiar with that world, so.
Hey, did you know that there's a lot of men who craft? You could get into it.
No, thank you. I appreciate the invite, but I'm not looking to get into crafting.
You're like,
just
crafting's
yet.
not my thing.
Dude, I'm already like so my handwriting, like I say this a lot, but my mom kept a lot of like arts and crafts I did in elementary school and stuff, and one of the things we like write this poem down word for word in second grade. She kept it, and we still had it at my parents' house.
Aww.
And I thought, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna look at it. Read me the words. I'm gonna write it down right now. They read it to me. I wrote it down. Hold it up. My handwriting has not changed since second grade, Sid.
Still looks.
I'm just not a crafty person.
That's
okay?
so amazing, though.
It's pretty bad. It's wild.
I love that.
Well, Austin, is Austin kind of crafty at all or no?
Very.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
both very crafty.
As a welder, he kind of has to be really.
We
good
are
at that.
very crafty together.
That's
for
dope.
sure.
That's way fun.
He's into his trains and train modeling, and he also welds. He can make like flowers and like all kinds of stuff with welding too. So we're both very crafty.
Okay. Is that kind of like? I mean, if you just have a weekend, you just have time to chill. Like, what do you guys do with your time? Do you craft? Do you watch shows?
Honestly, we relax a lot because all week we're working, so we relax together. But we do like to go to a German restaurant in Salt Lake a lot, so we'll go there and eat German food because he just loves it. And we like to he'll do his train modeling on the weekends, so he gets to do that. Yeah, participate in our hobbies over the weekend together. Yeah, so yeah, I would say yes. That's a long-winded way of saying yep.
Well, that's good. So you mentioned earlier you were in that leadership class and stuff. You're at school right now, right?
Yes.
Where do you go?
I go to Utah Valley University.
When are you graduating? What's your degree in? Tell me about that.
So I'm going to be graduating with a degree in family science.
Family science. Okay.
Yeah. That's something interesting about me is that I went to school for a while and I could not decide what I wanted. Because back when I was in high school, I was like, okay, I did hair school in high school, so I am just going to do that. I'm just going to do hair. And then I got home from my mission and my parents really encouraged me to go to college. And I was like, I don't want to go to college. So it took me a really long time to even figure out something that I wanted. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to throw shade on my parents.
Sure.
My parents are great. It's great. It's a great suggestion to go to school and to learn something new. And so, but it just took me a while. So I went from like a business degree and then I switched that. I did a psychology degree. So I have a ton of credits from all of those. Mm-hmm. And then I finally was like, okay, I really like the psychology classes, but I don't want to be a therapist. So then I went to family science, which you can also be a therapist with. You can do like marriage and family therapy. But I'm not as much into the therapy side. I'm just more into what, like, the classes just helped you with everyday life. So
Sure.
being able to like teach you about how to manage your stress, how the human brain works, or
That's dope.
Childhood development. So I could be a teacher, I could be a counselor, a therapist.
Well, and so earlier you were saying how you're kind of not sure, like, do I want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do I want to work and stuff?
Yeah.
And family science, that's applying to either way.
Yeah.
But if you were to work and stuff and have a career, what kind of career would you pursue with a degree in family science?
Yeah, so I think the career that I'm most drawn to if I were to use my major would be like a high school counselor because I love working with teenagers.
Dope.
A lot of people would give me crap for that. But yeah, being able to work with kids, I just get along with teenagers really well. And so I would really like to see how that works to be a high school counselor and be able to like work with kids who are in school just like trying to make friends and just trying to have a support system.
Yeah, that's
I'd
solid.
love to do something like that.
Otherwise, would it be like entrepreneurial? I kind of get the vibe that you want to start your own business. You just seem, because you got the hair, you got, you know, I know your family's got entrepreneurial backgrounds.
So many things. I mean, I could do something where I just incorporate my degree in like my hair business or something. But the other thing that I've actually been interested in with my other job is like using my major in a business aspect, so more organizational psychology. So being able to work with people in the workplace and help them work together as a team and be able to understand their strengths so that they can all work better together. So it's kind of therapy, but not.
Get into HR, yeah.
It's like an HR thing, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm studying in school. So I'll be graduating this semester. So
very cool.
Yay.
Well, the future looks bright.
I know, I'm excited.
I appreciate you opening up and letting us get to know you here as a person of Utah.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.